What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. In this video, I have some potentially groundbreaking news regarding the next EV play. This is concerning Lucid Motors and the SPAC called CCIV, which is a SPAC by Churchill Capital. Now, this stock sits at around $18, and the news isn't confirmed yet, but I'm about to show you some DD on why I think this merger is inevitable. Obviously, this isn't fact. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm just making some connections here based on other people's investigations that I will show you that could turn out to be true. And if true, this stock could double very soon. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, back at the computer. So now I'm going to show you a few bits of evidence as to why I think that Lucid will be merging with Churchill Capital 4, otherwise known as the ticker symbol CCIV. And then, as usual, I'm going to be going over the charts and I will give you some plays, some stocks and options plays on how I'm going to be playing this. We actually, in our private trading group, already sold puts on CCIV. We sold the $17 cash secured puts that expire, I think, in May. We sold those for $500. It was a no-brainer. If we get assigned, then our cost basis on CCIV is $12. I'll explain that towards the end of the video when I start talking about plays. But let's get into why I think that Churchill Capital 4 is going to be merging with Lucid, why it will happen soon, and why that could essentially double the stock price from $18 to above $30 or higher. So let's get right into it. So there is this article on Seeking Alpha that describes what I was talking about, circumstantial evidence about CCIV merging with Lucid. So there are a few things to point out here. So initially it was thought that CCIV, which is a SPAC for those of you that are new to this, a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition corp that basically takes companies public. We've seen this with Virgin Galactic, DraftKings, etc. So CCIV is just a SPAC, and it was trading at around the $10 default range, which is what most SPACs trade at initially before a merger is announced. And when it was announced, or when it was rumored that it was DirecTV, obviously the price jumped a little bit, but it wasn't that exciting. And then last week, the rumor started heating up that it could be Lucid Motors. Now, Lucid is really seen as a potential competitor to Tesla eventually. I'm not saying it's going to get as big or whatever. Tesla fanboys, don't come after me. I'm just saying that it is an EV pure play that actually has a solid management team and potentially a refined product behind it, right? So obviously Ford, GM, they're all creating EVs, but Lucid is one of the only ones that are on the map, at least in the US, that are seen as a potential pure EV play. So those rumors are really what started driving this price up to $18, right? And you see these wicks, this up and down here on the stock chart or on the price chart. It's because traders and investors are kind of pricing in this expectation, but they're not sure. That's what this $18 represents to me. It is kind of a rumor-based price target, but it is also an uncertain one, right? Or else this thing, if it was known that it was Lucid and it was confirmed, this thing would have already flown, which is, I think, what will happen eventually. Let's go back to the Seeking Alpha article. So there was a report that came out by Bloomberg, according to that Seeking Alpha article, that says that Lucid Motors is in talk to visit Michael Klein. Michael Klein is the guy who's leading the CCIV SPAC. Now, obviously, according to this article, they cannot confirm nor deny this before a deal is actually made. So on CNBC, there was a report that the deal may not happen, but I do have some insanely breaking news coming up, or not news, but an investigation by actually independent traders. And this is actually amazing. So if you follow this guy, Alex Cutler, on Twitter, he said that there was an all-hands meeting at Lucid on Friday, which was January 15th. And his sources tell him that this meeting was about going public. And there are some important dates that were highlighted at this meeting, that they had to go public by April so they could start distributing vehicles by June. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but it is very hard to IPO a company that fast. And really the only way to go public that quick is through a reverse merger with a SPAC like CCIV. April is just around the corner. If they have not already started their IPO plans, it's going to be very hard to get all that in gear to start delivering vehicles as a public company by June. And as Alex Cutler here says, it is clearly the fastest way to hit this deadline. So things are getting warmer, but I have yet some more news for you. So I saw this guy's Twitter account, Alex Cutler, from the Seeking Alpha article. And I went and I followed it, and I saw some interesting tweets by him. This was one that he retweeted by a guy or a girl named Real Earthman or Earthman. This is some stellar investigating work here. This person basically tracked a mid-size PJ, which is a private jet for all of you plebs. Just kidding. I've never been on a private jet. But this person tracked a mid-size private jet going from SJC, which is San Jose, to Phoenix, and then to Teterboro. Now, why is this important? SJC is the closest airport to Lucid headquarters. Phoenix is the closest to the Lucid factory. And TTB, or Teterboro, sorry if I'm butchering that name, is where the Churchill headquarters is. This is too crazy to be a coincidence, guys. And the deal could be done this week, according to this person's speculation. And I don't know if it's going to be done this week or, you know, next month. I just think that there is too much circumstantial evidence right now to deny that if they are going to go, if Lucid is going to go public and they're going to do it through a SPAC, that it will most likely have to be with CCIV. Stellar investigative work here. Okay, let's go back to Twitter. Also, something retweeted by Alex Cutler is this Twitter account by someone named El Profesor. And he was basically making connections between CCIV and Lucid. I mean, guys, us traders and investors, we're on a different, this is a different ball game that we're playing right now. We're tracking flights, taking pictures of private jets, making connections here like we're on NCIS. So this person basically started making connections of all the people involved between CCIV and Lucid. And I won't go through this whole thing. You can pause it if you want, but there are just too many connections here to deny that there is an actual circumstantial link going on between CCIV and Lucid. Again, whether they make the deal or not, it is pure speculation. Do not take my word for it. Do your own DD. Me personally, if you're asking for my opinion, I do think it will happen. I don't think that there is another easier path or a quicker path for Lucid to go public that soon if their plan is to start delivering cars by June. Okay, so how am I trading this? Well, what I did on Friday, and I sent this out in the trading group, what I did on Friday was we sold cash secured puts on CCIV. This was so easy to do because the cash secured puts that we sold were essentially at the $17 strike price, and we sold those for $5, meaning that if we get assigned, we are obligated to buy 100 shares of CCIV, not at $17 because we sold those for $5, but we actually, our cost basis will be $12, which is $17 minus 5. I keep going through cash secured puts here as a trading strategy because it is very optimal. And I think that a lot of people are missing out by shying away from options trading. But it's your world, do as you like. So here's my Thinkorswim. We basically sold this 17.5. Oh, it expires in March, not May. My fault. But it expires in March. We sold the 17.5 put. It was $5 when we sold it. So we're already up $70 on this put because now it's worth $4.30. Another thing you could do, obviously, which is not as optimal because the price has gone up a bit, but if you go out to the expiration date further than April, which if they're going to go live with, if Lucid is going to merge with CCIV, then, and it's going to happen in April, then you want to buy yourself some time and go the next month out, which is May. And in this case, you can buy the $20 calls for $6.50 or $650 per contract. Now, another thing you could do is a call vertical debit spread. So you can essentially buy the 17.5 call, sell the 20 call, and let's see what it would cost you. It would cost you $35 right now, or 35 cents, right? And the max value that this option can be is $2.50 because it's the difference between the strikes. That's the max value that any spread can be, is the difference between the strikes. So you're essentially paying $35, and if CCIV finishes above $20 by May 21st, which in this case, if it is going to be merging with Lucid, then that is a very likely scenario, then you essentially make $215 per options contract for a very small price of $35. Now, if you take a look at the chart, again, please keep in mind, this is only a speculative likelihood. This is not a sure thing. Nothing has been confirmed that CCIV and Lucid are merging. So another thing you can do is on Tuesday, which is the first day of the market this week, buy CCIV at its current price of $18, because I do think that if they do announce a merger with Lucid and that is confirmed, we will likely see a $30 and above price in the very short term. Now, if it is disconfirmed, then I do think that we could see easily a price drop back to around the $13 mark, where this candle is here, and maybe even lower, who knows. But we will most likely see a price drop, because this price hike here was based on the loose possibility that Lucid was merging with CCIV. So take it with a grain of salt. Yes, you could buy the stock. Keep in mind that if the merger is disconfirmed, that we could see a drop back to 13. So you might want to put a tight stop limit here, maybe at around, $15.75, somewhere around there, just in case the stock price drops. But that is my analysis. Do your own due diligence. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you got anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up just like this. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know if you are playing CCIV and how likely you think the merger with Lucid is. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Oh, and sign up to our lovely private trading group where I send out all of my alerts and my portfolios. Also, some of you have been asking me about the little join button below the YouTube videos. That is really just to support the channel, but I do send out some alerts on there before I make videos on them, or before I tweet them or do an idea in TradingView. So I will send out some alerts before anyone else gets them, but they are definitely not the full gamut of my alerts and my portfolios. But I do send out some nuggets there as a way to thank you guys for supporting the channel. So thank you. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.